Hello and welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath and this is Music-Palooza. So we're going to talk about a bunch of new releases, new music releases, a lot of CDs, no vinyl in this episode. I got a lot of CDs. There's even some DVD and Blu-ray stuff of, performances on disc. But if this is not going to be, 2023 music. This is new releases of catalog stuff. Things from the vaults of the various studios and distributors. But there's a lot. Well, it's great. If you love what we do in movies, new releases for classic movies, you're gonna love this episode if you've never seen a Music-Palooza. So I'm gonna dive right into it with a couple of new releases from Time Life. I think the way that this works is that Time Life will have something on their site for a long time, or is this is a site exclusive, like you can only get it at timelife.com. And I've noticed in some instances, then it, after a while, maybe it's a year, I don't know, then it goes to retail. So Amazon or wherever. And I think that's the case with these two. So we have AM Gold and we have Forever Soul. And I should mention that Forever Soul did come shrink wrapped with the Best of Sam Cooke CD. This is a Rhino. I think this is, no, let's see. Legacy Recordings. This is the Legacy Recordings pressing of our edition of Best of Sam Cooke. And there's a lot of stuff here to talk about. We're not going to be able to go through like every track or anything like that, but I'll start with AM Gold. I really like this because they're replicating like an old 45 RPM, carrying case, like a singles carrying case. And I think that's great. I wish it had AM Gold on the spine, but, maybe some people are like, I'm glad that it doesn't have that on the spine. So this is actually a really, really packed collection. So each one of these, let's just do them one at a time really quick. So we have Hang On Sloopy. This is 2 discs, and that's what's included. And I mean, these really are AM Gold. So Spooky by Classics 4. The Rain, the Park, and Other Things by the Calcills, Donny Osmond, stuff like that. But for a guy like me who loves, classic music and all different kinds, like I like classic metal and, acid rock and things like that, but I also like AM Gold. I really do. This music is deeply rooted into our culture. So, all right, so that's one volume of it. Here is kind of a drag. Standout tracks here. Let's see. It's interesting too because they don't give you a lot of surprises. That's one thing I would say about these compilations is that these are not designed for deep cuts. These are designed to give you like maximum hittage for your money, and it's not an insubstantial sum. We'll talk about that in a second. Here's Good Lovin', the Young Rascals, soon to just be The Rascals. Money Money by Tommy James and the Shondells. They got Frankie Valli, Sonny and Cher. Cherish by The Association. I mean, these are like, everybody knows these songs. These are songs in commercials now. Last Train to Clarksville. More Rascals. More Sonny and Cher. Vanilla Fudge, You Keep Me Hanging On. Now, see, that's like early, I would say that's early heavy metal. But it was AM, right? AM doesn't necessarily mean easy listening. And then here's Motown's AM Gold. This is 1 disc, and these are the tracks on this collection. So if you're counting, and I hope you were, that's 9 discs, 9 CDs. Each CD has about 17 tracks. I think they all have 17 tracks on them. Yeah. Every CD has 17 tracks, so 9 times 17 comes with a booklet as well, with a rundown on everything that's included. Time Life just does a really high quality product, as they should, because these are expensive box sets. I think both of these sets, at the time of me recording this video, these are like $150 each. In the neighborhood. They may go up and they may go down, but they are not cheap. So, they're not necessarily for everybody, but you do get, a lot of really great, really classic music. And music rights are expensive. I guess this is part of it, right? Music rights are really expensive. Music that's copyrighted. We're going to talk about maybe some older things in a minute here, but music that, these are not songs you don't know. Look, Dionne Warwick, Ray Charles, I've Got a Woman by Ray Charles. Well, that's huge. All right, so let's do this. So here, what is this comp? This is Get On Up, Forever Soul, Get On Up. Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, Ray Charles, right? This is Shout. This is It's All Right. Temptations, Ike and Tina Turner, The Miracle, featuring Bill Smokey Robinson. And last, oh geez, I'm dropping them. Last Night. We got Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. We got the Chantels. We got the Capitals. Cool Jerk by the Capitals. I mean, it's a lot of really timeless, you know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to editorialize a little. I'm going to take a risk and editorialize a little bit. I suspect these are for baby boomers who have disposable income and who are looking to recapture the music of their youth, to own the music of their youth. I love this stuff. I mean, I like a lot of baby boomer music because I grew up in the 80s, which was an echo of the 50s. So a lot of the stuff I grew up with too. And so I don't know, but they're great. You know, there's another one coming out that's dedicated to the 60s, music of the 60s, and I am really excited about that one. This is a little gem, and I am so glad that it exists. It's from the Edsel label. A Stranger in Town, Del Shannon Compendium. So Del Shannon, you know, for the song Runaway. If you don't know the song Runaway, go listen to the song Runaway. Pull it up on your phone or whatever. You know the song Runaway. That was his big hit. He had lots of hits. Well, I don't know if he had lots of. He had a few really big hits, but he plugged away at it for years and years. And this is everything that Del Shannon recorded in his lifetime. He died younger than he should have. He took his life. But this spans 1961 to 1991. And it's everything he recorded. He's got albums that he produced. That Tom Petty did something with Del Shannon. Electric Light Orchestra. Jeff Lynne produced something he did his stuff with Del Shannon. And there's a lot of demos and things here too. There's also a lot of oddies and things that I've never heard before. I haven't done everything here yet. I'm still working my way through it because this has only been here for a couple of weeks and it's a lot of music. But one of the bonus tracks here is from the 60s, and the bonus track is The Torture Chamber. And it is the craziest thing. It's instrumental. I mean, it's got talking in it, but it's not like a song. It's the instrumental, like guitar stuff. It's like, in medieval times, the thing that everyone feared most was the torture chamber. And then it's just like, he's doing all these weird voices, like screaming, and like, ah, ah. And he's like, come on, you guys, get back to work, you guys. The weird, but super 60s, I love it. It's the kitschiest, weirdest thing. So that's my favorite discovery so far. But if you did not know this was out, it's like $100, and it's the man's entire career in a single box. It's a beautiful box too. So I love this. Shout out to one of my favorite labels, which is Cherry Red Records. And this is one of their newest releases, which is What a Groovy Day, the British Sunshine Pop Sound, 1967 to 1972. Now, I love Sunshine Pop. And what I know of Sunshine Pop is primarily what got played on American airwaves. Some British stuff in there. But this is filled. It's just under 90 tracks. It's 3 CDs and so much stuff that is completely new to me. I mean, almost all of it's new to me. And every now and then they'll hit on something. I'm like, oh, I know this. What was the one? Georgie Girl is on here somewhere. And I was like, oh, I know Georgie Girl. They got the Hollies doing Everything is Sunshine, The Knack. But, like, you don't know these bands as Sunshine Pop. We know them as other things, right? So it's just the history that goes into these Cherry Red releases is incredible. Here's disc 1. It's disc 2 and disc 3. And the thing that I love about them is that each, they're curated by experts. usually for Grapefruit Records, David Wells. And so he gives us his introduction to the box set and then takes us on a track-by-track magical mystery tour of everything that's included here. Chart performance, why it matters. Listen, guys, some of this stuff is like a demo, and like that's what this band did. And it's invaluable for me because I know a lot of bands. One of the things that you can't account for when you get into esoteric areas like this, you know, why you need a guide, is that a lot of bands they put out a song, right? They put out a 145, an A side and a B side, 145, and then maybe that was a hit, maybe it wasn't. They changed the name of the band and put out another 45, and so you're like, who? And so they go to Europe. They were English bands that would go work in Europe under a different name. And so you don't know, and there's not a whole lot. This is like history that is being lost, right? So thank goodness David Wells and Cherry Red and Grapefruit are keeping it alive. I love this stuff. They have so many compilations like this. Grapefruit is my favorite label under the Cherry Red banner. But there's just so much really, really great stuff there that's all new, and it's so well curated. And it comes from like, you know, the best masters available, so it sounds great. If they can get the people that are involved in them, like if they can get the involvement of the bands, if they're still around, are still alive, they do. Just the best, right? Just the best. These, I wanted to talk about these. I'm not sure we've talked about these before. It's Atomicat Records is putting out these compilations called the Rockin' Spot. And there are 4 of them to date. And the mission statement of these is turn up the volume, dance, go crazy. The album showcases carefully selected rhythm and blues and rock and roll, moving and grooving titillating rhythms from 1955 to 1963. So first generation of rock and roll, pretty much pre-Beatles. And they dig really deep on this stuff. So I love these compilations. Here's volume 1, volume 2. I mean, cool enough to buy just for the artwork, right? Volume 3, and here's volume 4. And this is sort of the stuff if you want to freeze this and just get it. Maybe you've never, I think the goal for these is to like, just again, stay off the beaten path, get into things that aren't necessarily mainstream. And it's for those that know, you know, like who want to go a little bit deeper. At the same time, that's a good place to talk about these 2. We've talked about these before. This is Boss Black Rockers, which was a 10-volume collection of first generation rock music from black artists, putting the focus on, hey, here's what rock and roll was like in its purest form. Because there's, whether we like it or not, there's a whole lot about how black music was taken by white people, marketed to white people, toned down. Hey, let's take this song, let's take this Little Richard song and have Pat Boone do it. That'll be a hit. And then it's like you read books about like what Dick Clark did, and even, you know, there's a history there that's really fascinating. So 10 volumes, and now we're doing more Boss Black Rockers, which is going to be another 10 volumes. So in the end of it, it's going to be like, I don't know, like 700 rock songs from black artists spanning, you know, mid-50s to the early 60s. So this is volumes 5 and 6. We've talked about 1 through 4 here before. This is the kind of stuff. And I'm going to hold this up. If you want to read the legend at the top, the mission statement of this line, it's worth reading. But, you know, have you heard of some of these people? The Southlanders, we all heard of Chubby Checker, I hope. Otis Riley, the Medallions, Nolan Strong and the Diablos, the Turbans. I mean, this is really, really fascinating stuff. And it's really well put together. So I love these. On a similar note, the Ember Records Doo-Wop Collection. 1956 to 1964. So this comes from, who is this? Acrobat. It's a 2 CD set with 60 doo-wop tracks. Now I love doo-wop. You don't have rock and roll without doo-wop. It's part of the stew. So here are the tracks in this collection. And again, another really well appointed booklet with a lot of history about this stuff. You know, I think, let me see here. You know, I'm going to cut to these really quick. Darlene, the Liberation Hall has just released, the CD has a crack in it. It came in the mail that way, but here you have pure uncracked artwork here. This is a brand new release of a 1982 live show from Darlene Love. Interestingly, this is not what she's wearing in the concert. That has been restored to its complete, because she does a cover. You know, Darlene Love, national treasure. She's the Queen of Christmas. Sorry, Mariah Carey. David Letterman knew she was the Queen of Christmas, but she's so much more than that. Her contributions to so many classic records over the years. He's a Rebel. Da Do Ron Ron. So here it's like an 11-song set list. One of them's a medley. She covers We Can Work It Out by the Beatles, and she covers Hungry Heart by Bruce Springsteen. So those are here, CD and DVD. You should know that the DVD... Oh, here's the track list, by the way. The DVD... Let's get the glare off of that. It's shot on video. It's about 47 minutes long, and it looks like... It looks like the Midnight Special or something like that. You know, if you're wondering like visually what it's going to look like, I'm waiting for somebody to be like, why no 4K? Shot on videotape in 1982. I'm glad that we have it in its, you know, in its original pure form here. And the music is timeless. I'm so grateful that Darlene Love is still with us. She's a rock and roll Hall of Fame inductee, and this is great. Darlene Love getting love in 2023 for something she did over 40 years ago. That's great. You know, let me jump to this DVD release too. Nightclubbing, the birth of punk rock in New York City. So this is a documentary that has just been released from MVD Visual, and I have not watched this yet, but I'm really curious about it. Hold that up and let you freeze it and read it. There's Alice Cooper. Candy Darling, Holly Woodlawn, Jackie Curtis. Let's see. Interesting stuff. And then also, this is new to me too. This is also, MVD sent this over because they're distributing this. The Residents, God in Three Persons, and Triple Trouble. So I am not really well versed in the Residents. So this is going to be a discovery for me. Any Residents fans out there? I like that these are on Blu-ray. So both of these are out. All right, let's get back to some CDs here. So Sputnik. This is the latest Bear Family compilation dedicated to 65 years of Sputnik in space. So as you would guess, it's all space-themed mid-century music. Classic stuff from the golden era. I love what Bear Family does. And also from Bear Family, the Wanda Jackson Connection. 30 roots and covers of Wanda Jackson. So here's the track listing on this one. And, you know, you notice that none of these are by Wanda Jackson. But it's what fueled her and things that she would cover. So it's like, it's roots, right? That's really cool. We've talked about Wanda Jackson a lot. I love her. I'm grateful she's still here too. And once again, like track by track history and everything you need to know. We're almost done, you guys. A couple of new releases here. The Long Riders, one of, if not the founders of alt country from the early 80s. I think they formed in 81. They have a new album called September November. Good stuff. Really good stuff. This comes from Cherry Red, same label that did the What a Groovy Day compilation. And if you like that alt country kind of a thing, not to be confused with, you know, like country rock, which formed in the 60s. Also, Eric Bibb, Riding. This is essentially blues. I've been listening to this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was not familiar with Eric Bibb before this, but it's good. And he's been doing this for like 50 years. So, go here. Quincy Jones. The early years. This is 6 complete albums from the early days of Quincy Jones. You know, he would become this huge soundtrack legend. I mean, Quincy Jones is a huge deal. He's a really big deal. Producer so much. This is 1957 and 1961. Early days for Mr. Jones. So here's the albums. And again, a well-appointed booklet filled with that's the albums included. Got an essay. And who released this? This Acrobat. This Acrobat again. This essay runs 23 pages. This is page 23. So really packed with stuff here. If you love jazz, especially this era, you got to check it out. Now these, when I saw these were coming out, I don't know who this is for, but this is for me. I should say I don't know who else this is for. This is for me. These come from, is this Acrobat too? Yeah, both of these are Acrobat. So American Bandstand, US Top 100, 5th of August, 1957. It's the Top 100 from August 5th, 1957. Features recordings from the Billboard Top 100 on the date the first TV broadcast of the USA's most influential pop show, Dick Clark's American Bandstand, on the 5th of August, 1957. And also, as sort of a companion, also from Acrobat, the greatest country hits of 1955. Again, not for all of you, but for some of you. I mean, look at this, guys. There's like, it's Hank Snow. So, first of all, 4 CDs. Is this 100 tracks too? I think this is, it might be more than 100 tracks. Hold on. CD 1 has 27. CD 2 has 27. CD 3 has 27. And CD 4 has 27 tracks. So that's over 100 tracks. Hank Snow, Slim Whitman, the Tennessee Mountain Boys, Eddie Dean, Lefty Frizzell, Eddie Arnold. I mean, come on. So here, I'm going to hold, I don't know if that's big enough for anybody to see. And I also realize there's a glare. I'm doing my best here. But this may have, I don't know, this may have more wider appeal for you guys, for historian guys like me, to just have all this. This is 4 CDs as well. I mean, Elvis, Teddy Bear, there's Pat Boone, Love Letters in the Sand, the Everly Brothers, Bye Bye Love, Jimmy Dorsey, the Coasters, Nat King Cole. Man, this is great stuff. Fats Domino, Andy Williams. It's not all rock and roll stuff. Here's Andy Williams, Mantovani, Paul Anka, Diana. I like Diana by Paul Anka. Chuck Berry, Harry Belafonte. Come on, man. This is absolutely epic stuff. This is like history. You and I simply travel through history. But this is history. So that's a good place for us to leave it. I am excited about all this stuff. I hope you guys are too. I think there's never been a better time for this kind of catalog I mean, could you imagine telling yourself, like, if you like catalog music, if you like classic music, being like, well, you know, somebody's going to put out Billboard's top, the American Bandstand Top 100 from 1957, 1 week of 1957. And they're also going to put out the top country hits of 1955, and it's going to be over 100 tracks. Like, what? And it's not like it's $100 either, or $200. Like, these compilations, which are pulled from, I think they're pulled from public domain. I meant to circle back to this, talking about Time Life. These, I believe, are pulled from public domain sources, and they're very, very affordable. Like $20 neighborhood affordable for 4 discs packed with music. So we got a lot to be thankful for. We got a lot to talk about too. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.